We are live. Just bear with me one tick.
So, kind of following on from last week, we're going to talk a little bit about the slowdown. I've got a feeling we might not need to explain it too much because people will be feeling it. You'd be feeling if there's if things feel really weird and scratchy right now, or if things are going wrong, or if it's a bit tougher than usual to sort of keep up with the daily grind at the moment. There's this thing where the seasons change and they ask us to change with them. Sounds really spooky. I'm not really a very spooky person, but I feel it. So, hey, maybe it's just the weather, or maybe it's that thing where we're built for hibernation in the winter, but society sort of isn't, right?
Yeah, I love hibernating. And
Yes.
there's something about really welcoming that in. It almost feels, I always feel in between seasons as well, this whole ritualistic, this thing that just starts to take place. Either my practices start to change, the food, how I start my day, how I end my day, ever so slightly. It's almost like retuning an instrument. Hi, Luigi. So nice to see people. Feel like I'm grounded now. So interesting.
Is that the magic that you were working? You were working magic on seeing who's joining us. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, so beautiful. I just would like to quickly introduce ourselves as well, because I don't think we've done that. And I love having a start. So I'm Jo. I am a dating, sex and relationship coach. And at the moment, things feel really exciting. I will share with you my Facebook group at the end, which is for women. I also work one-to-one and a group program, which is called Melt. And so, yeah, that's the kind of work that I'm doing at the moment.
All right. And then she's just like, that's it, finish, quick. Jo.
Yeah, just a short introduction.
All right, nice. I'm Joanna Keeble. I am founder and coach at bigbeautifulboundaries.com. I suppose I'm going to share my Facebook group as well. I've just set it up, very excited. So
what's it called?
It's at the moment, it's called Big Beautiful Boundary Builders. And I kind of want a conscious community that I wanted years ago, a place where you can ask some bigger questions about life and love and society, or some more difficult questions, or seek support and get a little bit of, gentle group coaching. I'll be asking some interesting questions to spark some thought. Also, me and my partner, Daniel, share lots of wisdoms all over the internet. We're in different groups about relationships. We're in a poly relationship, and people get very confused about their relationships or relationships, as I like to say.
I love that.
Believe me, it's cheesy, but once you start talking about complexity in the shape of your relationship saves you hours of time. And so there's a lot of people asking questions about their boundaries and about relationships and things. And we just thought, hey, I want to have a group where I put all of these things in one place, so that, people who are hungry and who are paying attention and liking my stuff can actually come and get it all and soak that up. So yeah, we'll talk about that a bit more later.
Yeah.
Something just slow down.
Luigi is sitting in a sauna watching us.
Okay. Wow.
I love that. Sweating with the women.
I'm worried about the phone.
Yeah, it's quite something.
I mean, a sauna is a fabulous way to slow down, isn't it? Excellent self-care. God, I miss the sauna.
Yeah, the last one I went to was very interesting. Don't know if this is for daytime lunch.
All right, we might have a saucy sauna episode.
I think we should have a saucy sauna episode. Yeah.
So
It's
I'm feeling to get into this slow down business, because there's kind of
Mhm.
two sides to it. And we were talking about like what should we call these two sides, right? Because there's a place where if someone doesn't notice that there's a pull for them to slow down, it can just be an
Mhm.
oppressive experience, right?
Mhm.
I had that with my fatigue years ago. I got hit by chronic fatigue. It was probably glandular fever. A doctor at the time
Mhm.
told me it was glandular fever, and then other doctors said no. And it's very, very tedious if you're trying to get a diagnosis and doctors don't agree. But what I can tell you is I didn't I didn't realize that there was a new thing happening, that I was functioning in a new way. And so I didn't respond. What I didn't do that would have been really good is pay attention to how I was actually functioning, what I actually needed. What I did
Mm.
instead is try to push in the same way I always had. And I tried to function in the same way I always had, and it didn't work. So I was just like using the wrong map for the territory and just going, this is wrong, the territory is wrong, the territory is wrong, because it doesn't match my map.
Mm. What went through your mind when you knew that it was, or it felt wrong, but you were still going in that direction anyway?
It felt just hugely oppressive. The feeling is I
Mm.
can't do anything. I cannot
Mm.
live. I am squashed. I am crushed. There's no space for me. I can't breathe. Everything is impossible. And it
Mm.
literally felt like a hand would push me whenever I tried to do something, like go and socialize, or, write something, or speak, or, go out and do something, or think about
Mm.
what I want to do. It felt like a hand coming in and pushing me into a corner. Like, really, like there's no, there's just, it was just like, it
Mhm.
was a big fat no. It felt like a big fat no to all the things that I wanted to do.
Mm.
Ah,
Yeah, and I think sometimes I think it's a really important thing to just notice, and how we start to be from that place when we reject where our bodies want to go.
yes.
And it's just like, oh, what's really happening? Why am I really going the opposite way, or pushing against the grain, or doing something? If I sit with that, what habitually is coming up for me?
Yeah, habitually, because it's like, it's just patterns of behavior. It's what we're
Totally.
used to doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're sort of pushing the same button, and it's like, it's not working. And there was no willingness from me for a long time to adapt,
I
to
love that.
adjust.
No willingness to adapt. And that's what it is. It's like we humans, humanity, the universe globally, source, we can do anything we want. We can literally do anything we want. And it's the willingness to be like, there's a thought, there's a pattern behavior. Like, can I, and this goes on to what we were speaking about, whether we go into it with pain and think, I can't do this, which is an energetic force of like, fuck you, really, or being like, okay, I'm willing. And there's something in there about the sweet spot between like pain and pleasure.
Ooh.
It's kind of a sweet spot. It's like when you're in a yoga position, or if I'm doing the splits, and I can feel my hips, like they feel pretty open. I feel pretty open, and at the same time, I was doing this the other day, and it's just like using the breath, and it comes into the willingness, and it's just like being able to use the breath to slow down even more. There's an invitation there to be like, this kind of feels uncomfortable, but I know there's something that's expanding and moving, and I want to be able to find out more, get curious. It's that space in
Yeah, yeah,
between between pleasure and pain, and this sweet spot that is almost like golden sparkles of curiosity, to be like, how does it feel if I start to change my breath in this place? Like, it's this tangible globe, and I'm going quite abstract here, but it's a tangible globe that I think we can acknowledge, look at, and accept, and start, I think that is like an invitation of like being able to change our patterns, behaviors, and being able to come down, being willing and being curious. Because the thing that I was, just take a breath. Because something I was thinking about before our session today is like, if I know I'm coming down, and this is more obvious when, for example, I'm coming on my monthly cycle, my period, and I'm like, like, I love it when it's here, but it's that arrival beforehand. I'm getting tired, I'm getting a bit itchy. And what really helped me, and I could feel this tiny bits of bubbling of anger, irritation, wanting to say F you to the world, and total hibernation. And I'm going to read this proverb actually that came up in my meditation today about, to understand all is to forgive all. So it's like, for me, like when those feelings come up where I almost like want to rub against or attack or not accept, it's like, oh, can I forgive myself? Can I really forgive these feelings and thoughts and have compassion all the way down, so that I can enjoy the down, be with the down, and then know how to slowly climb. I'm thinking of like, what's that program called? Thing in the Giant Beanstalk. What's it called?
Jack.
It's been a long time since I was a child, and I've not read that story for a while. So it's like Jack and the Beanstalk, totally. The symmetry in that. And I was just like, because you think it's a long way up and a long way down, but if you came down with love and compassion and went up with love and compassion, like, how more easeful and graceful would it be to be with life and to see beauty?
There's like, there's a really good parallel with seasons, because so what we get from seasons is the understanding that it's not about a plateau. Life isn't just like always the same, and we wouldn't want it to be always the same. There's an ebb and flow, there is an up and down. It's kind of like years and years and years ago I started talking about surfers, and this metaphor came up for me, and it's like, you've got to surf the wave under your board. It's the most hippie thing I've ever said in my life. You've got to surf the wave under your board. And it's like, you can't surf that wave over there, and you can't go over there. You can't be like, right, we're going that way. The sea is where you go, right? The wave is choosing how this game works. And if you want to ride it, you can ride the wave that's underneath you. So there's this natural flow, and you can, if you want to have a good time, get up and get on board, but you've got to pay attention, and you've got to flex and adjust with that flow. Otherwise, it's okay, you'll just go under. That's all right. So it's a much more violent way to have that experience.
What? I'm going to crush that. I actually forget the board. I just love surfing it with my body.
All right.
There's something about an enjoyment when you're in the sea, and there's something about catching the wave when you're the right height from the seabed, and there's just something smooth as your body somehow, like, you do this like kind of arc thing and go over like this, and it's just, it feels so beautiful. It feels quite sensual actually when I think about it now, because you're working with nature.
You're letting it carry you.
Exactly.
It's actually doing a lot of the work itself. That's interesting, isn't it? Because there's this whole productivity and work thing where we feel like a big piece of why I couldn't surrender, or why I resisted surrender so long with my fatigue, which helps me with change now and helps me with the seasonal slowdown, is that I had a belief in there that I have to micromanage my experience. Otherwise, nothing's going to work. Nothing's going to go well if I'm not controlling it. And I had a really tight grip on my life at that time, because I really didn't think that I could have nice things or that things would go well if I wasn't making it happen. So everything I was doing was pushing, was coming from a push. Is it any wonder that, you know, nature fought back and my body fought back with a like, no, it's not that. Stop pushing. And I ignored it, and it had a nice conversation with me. Hey, maybe you want to stop pushing. And I was like, no. And it was like, no, you really need to stop pushing. And I was like, no. And then it was like, right, we take away your power to push. You cannot push now. And if you push hard against the flow, then you're not going to be able to do anything. And it hurts up here if I push against the flow, and it hurts in my body, in my heart, in my throat. Everything feels wrong if I don't just find a way to just sit back into what is, acknowledge it, and stop making it wrong and let it be.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. I would love to pick up. I know we're kind of running out of time now, but there was just something around. I know you've got some questions, but this was specifically for you. Was around, how did you go from that tight, heavy spot to being like, I'm not going to do that anymore?
Okay. So one of the things I've written down while you were talking is ego death. I wrote resistance, making it wrong, ego death. And what it was my persona that was so tied to getting everything right and to being very productive. And there was a day when I couldn't get to work because I found myself in my kitchen and I was just doubling back and just realized I can't finish a thought. And I was like, oh, I need to do that, but I also need to, and then I just stood crying in my kitchen because I was having a really bad day with my fatigue. And I realized, shit, I can't actually leave the house today. I can't do the things to get dressed, have a bit of breakfast and go outside. And I was really distressed because I had a meeting with my two big bosses that day. It was a really important meeting. And so there was nowhere to hide. I was like, no, I'm going to have to tell them or I'm going to lose my job. And it was just that surrender. It was just that, okay, I give up. It was that. And it was actually admitting to them, I can't come in. I've got this fatigue. That was a piece of it. And then the next day I went in and I was trying to be as productive as I could. And I found myself like trying to look busy because I realized I really couldn't hold it together. And I found myself like crying to a friend and she was like, just go home. And I was feeling like, but I can't. And I went to the toilets, locked myself into this cubicle and slid down the wall until I was just sat on the floor, just feeling like I give up. I can't do anything. This is awful. And I just let myself just stare into space. I was just staring at my shoelaces. And so I surrendered to fine, I'll do this. And that's when I realized it felt really, really good. It felt really good. This is the thick black honey that I've mentioned before. When I put my attention on how I felt in that surrendered inactivity, just letting myself have a moment of slowness, it felt so nourishing and so right. There was nothing oppressive about that. And I just got this moment of clarity of what's oppressive is me pushing against what I need.
That's beautiful. That is
Of course,
beautiful.
we have to work. There's places where you can't always, you have to compromise. But that changed the way I do everything.
Beautiful. I just had so much self-acceptance.
Oh,
So
yeah?
much self-acceptance. I was just like, yeah, it's incredible. All right, that's giving me chills down my spine.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. Oh my God, we've got so many beautiful viewers on. Luigi, you've given us so much love. It's been beautiful. My program, just answering Luigi's question, my program, my group women's program that's going to be going live towards the end of the month is just for women. And I work one-to-one with both women and men. So if that's something that you wanted to find out more about, please get in touch. I'm just looking at Luigi's, one second. Well, this is just what I needed to hear. I spent 5 days, my girlfriend, my birthday, in between, not feeling quite flat and need to connect with others.
Right. Yeah, connection with others. That's an awesome one.
Connection with others.
Yeah, come into the groups. Right,
Yay.
Jo's got a group, I've got a group. We'll be connected.
I'm going to put my Facebook group in the comments. So gorgeous women, I have got a masterclass tomorrow. I'm really excited. I don't know why I'm really excited about this one. Pardon?
It's here.
It just feels on. I think the thing that I've been thinking about as well is like just really trusting. Just a lot of trust and self-acceptance, and I don't know, just so much love has just come out, more love. You know, actually I've been loving myself so much that I just have the capacity to love people even more. So like even just that alone is like just such a beautiful gift that I feel really excited to share with people. But yes, I've got a masterclass tomorrow at 6 o'clock British summertime, and it's 6 ways to help you reconnect to your partner and bring back the va-va-voom. This is both for singles and for couple, and if you're in a relationship, because it's all about looking at what are the key components to have a thriving, successful, fulfilling relationship. So yeah, I would love to see you there. Come into the group, women. It'd be amazing to have you. And Joanna has just posted her wonderful, is that your group?
Yeah, I've been really, I mean, I'm doing a lot of acceptance of myself right now. I just thought I'm just gonna drop it there. I'll add a description later. But I've got my new Facebook group, Big Beautiful Boundary Builders, a little conscious community of people who are interested in learning, growing, connecting, bringing some positivity to the group. Yeah, we're going to figure out exactly what goes in there, but I've got high hopes. And I've got my course, which is available online now, which is called Big Beautiful Boundaries. You can find that at bigbeautifulboundaries.com.
Beautiful. Luigi's just asked me a question. Jo, please can you share one thing you do to love yourself? This is, I'm going to get current. One thing I did to love myself today was my meditation first thing on a morning, and I asked higher power for energy and inspiration of how to really show up and be the best version of myself today. And that started off with making a bubble bath. I love my bubble baths. Making a bubble bath, incense, music, and cleaning my flat. And those were like the things that I did, and all synchronicity. But I asked for guidance every morning because sometimes it's different. But it's like, for me, really, having the connection with source, having the connection with higher power, to be able to be guided and to be living in the present moment, no matter how uncomfortable that is.
Nice. I'll say mine really quickly
I'd love
because of the time. So I've done a lot of meditation. I've done a lot of different types of meditation, from like getting free tracks online to hanging out at the London Buddhist Centre to orgasmic meditation, to different types of Buddhist meditation actually. And for me, I break meditation down to applying presence or applying consciousness to anything you do. And so my favorite way to love myself is just to apply a little bit of loving intention to any little action and every little action. So as I was thinking about that question, I was like, well, I'm loving the feeling of this, and that's why I put this on. That's me getting a little bit of, oh yeah, I've got a hot water bottle under my feet, and that's me just going, yeah, we're going to have cozy things today. So it's just like letting myself get up early and say it's love, lie in late and say it's love, and just I let myself receive the world and my relationship to it as love. It doesn't actually matter what it is.
I love that.
Feels amazing, I'll tell you that
I
right
can
now.
feel it here. My heart is love. I love you. I love everyone who's watching this. It's been such a joyous moment, and you know, I have so much love and acceptance for my fumbly technology side.
Do you know what I'm going to say? Because we want to be lovingly respectful of the time, I think I'm going to write the questions in a post.
Oh yeah, you have some questions.
Yeah,
that'd be beautiful. Yeah,
so there'll be
and
some
I would
follow-up
love
questions.
people who are watching this, if you're watching it on replay, have a think about these questions. They're really juicy, actually, the ones that Joanna has got, and she will write them down. Yeah, and I'd love to kind of pick up on that next week and see how,
yeah, I'd actually love to hear from people about these questions as well.
Yeah.
If there's something that strikes a chord.
Super.
Yeah, let's share, let's connect.
Way casually over.
It's the slow down, baby.
I know.
So really yeah, so that's an opportunity to just say that's okay.
Yeah. It must be okay because I'm
You're loving it.
Aspiring.
All right.
Okay, my loves. It has been so beautiful to see you all here today. And yeah, we will see you all very, very soon. We'll see you next week. And hopefully those of you that want to come in for the masterclass tomorrow, I will see you then, if not before.